The creation of Pakistan in 1947 was one of the most remarkable political achievements of the 20th century. The Muslims of the Indian subcontinent, who had long feared political marginalization in a Hindu-majority democratic system after the end of British colonial rule, succeeded in obtaining a separate homeland through constitutional struggle, political mobilization, and ideological persuasion. The driving force behind this movement was the All India Muslim League under the extraordinary leadership of Muhammad Ali Jinnah, intellectually reinforced by the philosophical vision of Allama Muhammad Iqbal and supported by numerous Muslim scholars, politicians, journalists, and social leaders. Yet, paradoxically, the same political organization that succeeded in creating Pakistan failed to transform itself into a durable and effective nation-building party after independence. The Pakistan Muslim League gradually lost ideological clarity, organizational cohesion, and political credibility. Within a few years of independence, it had drifted away from the original spirit of Muslim nationhood and eventually became fragmented, weak, and disconnected from the aspirations of the people. The reasons behind this failure were numerous and deeply rooted in the historical, social, geographical, and political realities of the newly created state. The Muslim League's success during the freedom movement was largely based on a single unifying objective: the creation of a separate Muslim homeland. Once that objective was achieved, the party struggled to redefine its role in the governance and development of an independent country. A movement that had been designed to mobilize sentiment and political consciousness was suddenly required to function as a disciplined governing institution capable of handling administration, economics, social reform, constitutional development, and national integration. The transition from a liberation movement to a governing party proved far more difficult than its leaders had anticipated. One of the foremost reasons for the decline of the Muslim League was the premature death of its founding leadership. Muhammad Ali Jinnah passed away in September 1948, barely 1 year after independence. His death created a massive political and moral vacuum. Jinnah possessed exceptional authority, constitutional understanding, political discipline, and personal integrity. He was perhaps the only leader capable of balancing the competing interests of various provinces, ethnic groups, bureaucratic factions, and ideological tendency. The assassination of Liaquat Ali Khan in 1951 further deepened the crisis. Liaquat Ali Khan was among the few senior leaders who had remained close to Jinnah and understood the broader objectives of state building. After his assassination, Pakistan entered a prolonged phase of political instability. Leadership within the Muslim League became weak, opportunistic, and increasingly disconnected from the masses. Instead of producing visionary statesmen, the party became dominated by power brokers, landed elites, bureaucratic collaborators, and regional opportunists. Another major problem was that the Muslim League had not developed strong organizational roots in many parts of Pakistan before independence. Ironically, the areas that became Pakistan were not the strongest centers of the League's political strength before 1947. In provinces such as Punjab, Sindh, Balochistan, and the Northwest Frontier Province, local politics had traditionally revolved around tribal chiefs, landlords, peers, and regional power structures. The Muslim League had depended heavily on alliances with these local elites rather than building a disciplined grassroots organization. In contrast, many of the League's most passionate supporters and educated leadership came from Muslim minority provinces such as Uttar Pradesh, Delhi, Bihar, and Bombay, regions that remained in India after partition. This geographical contradiction created a serious structural weakness. Many experienced Muslim lead workers migrated to Pakistan after partition, but they lacked social roots and political influence in the new country. Meanwhile, the traditional feudal and tribal elites who dominated Pakistani society entered the League mainly for political convenience rather than ideological commitment. Consequently, the party gradually transformed from an ideological movement into a loose coalition of influential families and regional notables. The unprecedented trauma of partition also weakened the state and the ruling party. Pakistan was born amidst communal violence, mass migration, administrative collapse, refugee crises, and economic uncertainty. Millions of refugees crossed the borders under horrific conditions. The new state inherited weak administrative infrastructure, limited financial resources, and a severe shortage of trained personnel. Much of the industrial and commercial wealth remained in India, while Pakistan had to build institutions almost from scratch. Under such difficult circumstances, the government became heavily dependent on the civil bureaucracy and military establishment. Over time, this dependence fundamentally altered the political balance within Pakistan. The bureaucratic and military institutions became stronger while political institutions remained weak and divided. The Muslim League failed to establish democratic traditions, internal accountability, or institutional continuity. Civil servants and military officers increasingly assumed greater authority in policymaking and governance. This imbalance eventually culminated in the first military coup of 1958 under Ayub Khan, effectively ending the League's dominance and weakening parliamentary democracy for decades. The Muslim League also failed to provide a coherent socio-economic program for the people. During the Pakistan movement, the demand for a separate homeland had united Muslims across classes and regions. However, after independence, ordinary citizens expected improvements in education, healthcare, land reforms, employment, industrial growth, and social justice. The League lacked both the vision and the organizational machinery to address these expectations effectively. Land reforms, in particular, remained largely absent because the party itself was heavily influenced by feudal landlords and conservative elites. Rural inequality continued, and the vast majority of peasants remained politically and economically marginalized. Industrial development benefited a small class of business families, while poverty and regional disparities persisted. As a result, many people gradually lost faith in the Muslim League's ability to represent the broader national interest. The issue of national identity further complicated matters. The Pakistan movement had succeeded largely because of the shared religious identity of Muslims. However, religion alone could not automatically erase deep linguistic, ethnic, and regional differences. Pakistan consisted of highly diverse populations, including Punjabis, Bengalis, Sindhis, Pashtun, Baloch, Muhajirs, and others. The Muslim League underestimated the importance of these identities and failed to evolve a balanced federal structure that respected regional aspirations. This failure became especially visible in East Pakistan, which contained the majority of Pakistan's population. Bengali Muslims had played a vital role in the Pakistan movement, yet after independence they increasingly felt politically and economically marginalized. The controversy over the imposition of Urdu as the sole national language alienated Bengali-speaking citizens. Economic disparities between East and West Pakistan further intensified resentment. Instead of addressing these grievances democratically, successive governments relied on centralized authority and bureaucratic control. The Muslim League failed to accommodate regional demands within a flexible constitutional framework. Its leadership often viewed provincial autonomy with suspicion, fearing that decentralization might weaken national unity. In reality, excessive centralization produced the opposite effect. The growing alienation of East Pakistan eventually culminated in the tragic dismemberment of Pakistan in 1971 and the emergence of Bangladesh. Ideologically, the Muslim League also suffered from ambiguity after independence. During the Pakistan movement, the idea of Muslim nationhood had served as a powerful political instrument. However, after independence, there remained no consensus regarding the exact nature of the new state. Was Pakistan to be a modern democratic Muslim-majority state, an Islamic ideological state, or a centralized security-oriented state? Different leaders interpreted the objectives differently. This ideological confusion weakened national direction and created continuous constitutional disputes. The Objectives Resolution of 1949 attempted to reconcile Islamic principles with parliamentary democracy, but the broader debate remained unresolved. Political leaders often used religion for legitimacy without developing practical policies for governance, social welfare, or economic modernization. Over time, ideological slogans replaced serious institutional development. The state increasingly relied on symbolic narratives rather than democratic participation and public empowerment. The Muslim League's internal culture also contributed to its decline. The party lacked democratic mechanisms for leadership transition and policy formation. Personal loyalties, factional intrigues, and patronage politics became dominant. Many leaders joined or left the party based on immediate political advantage rather than ideological conviction. Consequently, the League fragmented into multiple factions over the decades, each claiming the original legacy but lacking national appeal. Another important factor was the changing social composition of Pakistan. New political forces gradually emerged representing workers, students, ethnic groups, religious parties, and middle-class urban populations. The Muslim League failed to adapt to these transformations. By the late 1960s, parties such as the Pakistan People's Party under Zulfikar Ali Bhutto and the Awami League in East Pakistan had captured public imagination far more effectively than the aging and fragmented Muslim League. Ultimately, the tragedy of the Pakistan Muslim League was that it excelled as a movement for political mobilization but failed as an institution for democratic nation-building. The party had successfully awakened Muslim political consciousness under colonial conditions, but it could not transform that consciousness into a sustainable and inclusive national project after independence. It achieved statehood but struggled to construct a stable political nation. The decline of the Muslim League does not diminish its historic achievement in creating Pakistan. Without its leadership, organization, and constitutional struggle, the establishment of Pakistan would likely not have occurred. However, the experience also demonstrates that the creation of a state and the building of a nation are two very different challenges. Winning independence requires unity around a shared aspiration, but governing a country requires institutions, democratic culture, economic justice, administrative competence, constitutional stability, and inclusive national vision. Pakistan's early history reflects this painful transition. The Muslim League succeeded in leading Muslims towards self-determination, but after independence it failed to institutionalize democratic politics, reconcile diversity, and deliver socio-economic transformation. In the absence of these foundations, the momentum of Muslim nationhood gradually weakened, and the party that had once symbolized Muslim political awakening lost its central place in the country it had created.